everybody? Happy Mondays. I'm Sirken, and you're you people, and I'm glad you people are here. Um, I guess we should. God, there's so many things. All right, first of all, I decided at the last minute we're not going to have guests this evening because, all right. Well, honestly, it's because there's so many upset people right now about recent ongoings in TOV. I've had multiple, say multiple guild leaders go ahead and message me asking for things. FaceTime, talk time, they want words over recent TOV shenanigans. And of course I can't do that right this second because you guys, but that will be done. And so yeah. So it's me, it's you, it's my words, your ear holes. If you have questions, this is probably the best stream you'll ever have to ask them because I will be paying attention to chat much more than I normally do. Um and yeah, there Manchina. There is guild dramas. I wish there wasn't. We had a lot of nice peacefulness. I mean, there's been some hiccups. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say it's been completely perfect, but it's been really good, more or less, since Velius launched. And a couple weeks ago, we had a bunch of people rage quit the group discussion that I set up with the guild leaders. And now today I came home from work and saw a bunch of Skype messages from guild leaders being like, "We need words because all of the jimmies are rustled." And so, being the good Sirken I am, I have to oblige them. Just not tonight. What else? What else are things? Oh, quick sports update. Saldio. Okay, you know what? Let's just go into a 2 week life update real quick because this is gonna play all together. 2 week life update. Um. Oh Jesus. All right, we're gonna start it. We're just gonna start it. Oh my God. All right. Preface. We have to preface this story too, because it's important. Okay. First thing, staff members, just like players, we have rules and guidelines and policies and things we have to follow. I would dare say that we actually have more rules than players when it comes to that term. Uh, and so I did something that I'm not going to say it was the wrong thing to do because it wasn't, but I definitely went about it the wrong way. I approached it the wrong way. I did it like an asshole, and I did it without putting much thought into it. Not so much like is this right or wrong, but the aftermath of what my actions would do. And when staff members do things that they shouldn't do, they get in trouble for it. Luckily, because let me tell you guys, I've been in trouble a couple of times. There has not because I break rules. I don't want you to think like I'm out here breaking staff rules, but because I might make a wrong call on a very important situation, or I don't know. There's things I might disagree with something that's coming on from up top, and so yeah. I got distracted. Sorry, guys, you distracted me. I can't read your words. I read your words and I get all distracted. I get instantly distracted by words. I'm not the best multitasker. That's what I'm learning. So anyway, um, like players, the reason you don't hear about when Sirkin gets called into the principal's office is because we don't discuss player discipline, be it players or staff members. We just don't make it public. It's not a good policy. It usually causes more harm than good. The only people who seem to really care are the tabloid types. Your rants and flames. Your people who just like to stir up shit for the sake of stirring up shit. Those people. And so there's no need for us to do public name and shames for players, and thankfully there's no need to do it for staff members. As a staff member and as a former player, I'm happy about both of those things. As a player, it makes me happy because sometimes staff members are wrong. I've been wrong. I've had staff members make bad calls against me when I was a player. I just burped, but I muted it so you guys couldn't hear it. Because, funny story, some people absolutely hate when you burp in their ears, even if you don't mean to. That's a thing I learned. Oh, God, I'm getting off track. So, staff members have rules. We have to follow rules, blah, 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 blah. I did some shit way too quick without really thinking about it. Krispy Kreme, nom nom, thanks for following. I don't know how Krispy... Timeout. All right, sidebar. I don't even know how Krispy Kreme's in business right now. Because you walk in, and I'm not even a big donut person. I mean, granted, I am a 300-pound neckbeard. I live at home. But my diet is primarily Hot Pockets and fruit snacks. I don't venture into the world of the donut. That's just not my thing. But you walk into this magical crack shop, and you can see all the donuts being made and rolling around on the thing, and then they go through the waterfall of the glazy deliciousness, and then they're like, oh, here's your free donut just for walking in. Here's your fresh, warm, free donut. And so I eat that donut, and then I don't want any more donuts. Like, I can't eat 2 Krispy Kreme donuts, guys. I just can't. They're too rich. I'm trying to watch my figure. I'm trying to get it down to like 265 so I can make my bathing suit, and but not make it. I'm not like sewing or anything. But I want to look good this summer, and I feel like 255, 260 is a good target weight. Why am I talking about Krispy Kreme? Look, the point is, I don't know how they're in business because I don't know people who actually go buy like a dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme, but I just don't spend money there. Like, I've realized I can just walk in, get my free donut, and leave. I don't have to buy shit. And so I just think it's a bad business model. But let's get back on track. We don't want to get too distracted. I don't have an Uber bandit. I have nobody here to keep me on track. So it's really up to you guys to be responsible. At this point, I'm pretty convinced no adults watch this stream, and so there is a tendency for me to get me in trouble. Sometimes I do get in trouble for things I say on stream. That's why sometimes I'll give shitty answers like, "Oh, that's not something I can talk." I can't give an example without throwing someone under the bus. Is what I'm realizing. But there's been times where the day after stream, it's like, so heard you said bloody bloody blah, and it's like, yes, I may have said those things, and it's just like, but why? And so I try to learn from my mistakes. Yeah, that's the thing. All right, so we're still 2 weeks ago. My story is progressing very slowly, and I am sorry about that. So whatever. Had made a mistake on staff and got what I should have gotten for said mistake. And then literally like the very next day, I fucked something up at work, and it caused my boss lady to order like 2,000 pieces of this one part. And whoops, it was the wrong part. Partly because I wasn't focusing on my job the way I should have been, partly because I don't care about my job, partly because I'm not great with fractions. But it happened, and I totally thought I was going to get fired. I would have fired me. So I spent the weekend doing things, and Monday was good, actually. Skip the weekend. We're just going to fast forward to Monday. Monday was good because I had to drive. My boss asked me to drive something to Milwaukee because it was important. And I paid a buddy to drive it to Milwaukee for me so that I could sit on my butt at home, make some phone calls, and do some things that I needed to do because it was kind of like a half day off. The shitty thing, what I quickly realized right around 12 o'clock, is that I should have taken the second half of the day off and not the first half, because going to work sucks. I don't care if you have the best job in the world. The actual physical process of going there sucks. And when you live in Chicago and your commute is confirmed the absolute worst highway in the country, with like Google, I'm not just pulling this out of my butt here, it makes your drive home really, really sucky. And that doesn't mean you hate your job. That doesn't mean whatever. I'm very grateful to have a job. Let me tell you. I mean, I can honestly say sometimes I feel like looking for a job is more actual work than just having a job and going to work every day. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. So anyway, got in trouble on the staff. Got in trouble at work. Got in a lot of trouble at work. Like I kind of started looking for new jobs for a few days, but it's okay. My boss later told me recently that she's not going to fire me. She might tear me a new asshole, but she's not going to let me go. And that was really nice. I mean, it was stupid. You should never tell someone you're not going to fire them, because now I feel like I can literally do anything I want. But it was nice. It was nice to feel appreciated. So I'm trying to win Boss Lady over with love. Every time she's mean as shit to me, I just say something really sweet to her, because I'm good at saying sweet things, and that's what I'm gonna kill her with kindness. So let's fast forward again. Oh man, there's one big thing that I really want to talk about, and I just can't, because I can't find a way to like mask it as something else that fits, that's also believable. And I don't know who's all here right now at this moment listening, but I'm sure there's at least one of you who listens occasionally, might be listening right now. You might know what I'm talking about, but there's no way for me to mask it to everyone else. But let's just say, like, God, I'm distracting myself. I can't even blame you guys now. So, fast forward, we get to Saturday. What happens at Saturday? I'll tell you what happens. Some woman, some woman with red hair, could be an associate of Nick's. I'm gonna look into the monthly Gingers Anonymous meeting, because I'm pretty sure Nick's might know people in the Ginger Mafia. But this woman tried to assassinate me. And people are like, "Oh, Sirken, ha ha ha, that's funny." I'm not kidding you. She used her vehicle as a weapon and destroyed the front of my car. She hit me head on, and so that was a thing that I had to deal with after surviving the assassination attempt. I had to. Funny story. I didn't even realize my car was like that fucked up at first either. That's the shitty thing. But it was. And so Saturday or Sunday morning, I had to find a rent-a-car, and I did, and they were like, "Oh, it will be $267 for the week." And I'm like, "Excellent." And they told me I was going to have some Chevy Equinox, and I was like, "That's swell. I like Chevys." And I show up, and there's like, "Here's your Hyundai Santa Fe with fucking Florida plates, and it's white." I hate white cars. White cars are the worst. But easy, easy deasy. I never even considered that. She might be a P99 player. However, if a P99 player was going to try to assassinate me in real life, I'd probably bet money that it would be someone from the Red server, and I don't think any girls play on Red. So, theory debunked. So yeah, that happened, and then I rented my car, and I was supposed to drop my actual car off at the body shop, because luckily I used to work at a body shop, and so I'm on really good terms with the people that own it. And I mean, it's been like 13 years since I worked there, but they're still good. So I did something right, and I got blown off on Monday night with the person who was going to follow me. And then Tuesday, my darling brother, who, oh man, I'm so glad me and him don't live together anymore. I love him. He's my brother. Little brother, protected him a lot when he was little, and we were growing up in school together. I remember one time some kid was going to beat him up, And I showed up at that fight before my brother even got out of school because we had a half day at my school and we went to different schools. My high school history is very colorful. So Thursday, come home from work, one of my monitors has died. It has fried out, and I've tried switching power cords. I've tried power cords, whatever cords. I've tried plugging in different plugs. I've tried all the things. None of the things will work. So down to one monitor. And let me tell you, I was going to stream this weekend. I just heard sound. And fuck my life. So I'm pretty sure the sound I just heard and the sound you just heard is actually caught on the recording and not, in fact, something that just happened, which is shitty. Thanks for that, Steam. So we got in trouble on the staff. We almost got fired. We broke our truck. Computer monitor died. Other problems that I can't really explain. And this is when it dawned on me. My life has become a country song. But not just any country song. I feel my life has become a hit country song. A top 10, soon to be a billion times platinum country song. Because it has all the things you need. You just gotta put them together and add some seasoning and a fucking banjo. And boom! Boom! You have the last 2 weeks of my life. Oh! And for extra fucking shits and giggles, Keenan Allen, Arian Foster, now Gronkowski, my whole team is falling apart. I threw down 129 points last night. 120. I'm talking into the wrong microphone because apparently, because I was talking to someone Saturday afternoon and I had to switch mics. But 129 points. That's a shit ton of points. We don't have a goofy ass league where you get points for all of the things. Oh my god, easy. I forgot I lost my dog too. My brother took our dog. I'm dogless and carless and almost jobless and all of the things. Literally all of the things. I'm telling you, my album's gonna go like a bajillion D times platinum. I'm not sure how many zeros are in a bajillion D. I'm not sure how many records that is, but I'm telling you, everybody would listen to this song. I need to either A, find the banjo or find a banjo player. Olaris, I'm telling you, this is going to be the quietest stream ever because there's not going to be any asshole barking at the door, the window, or every damn sound he hears. He barks at little kids. He had no idea how to assess threat levels. None. Old Asian lady walking with her groceries. I'm not being racist. This is an actual real scenario that happened. I'm not just throwing out a random thing. Old Asian lady with her groceries, pushing them down the street in her little old lady cart that old ladies have. Barks, loses my... And it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Two little kids playing in the snow. And, I mean, shit. Like, it's like crying wolf, but with a dog. And so when someone actually breaks into my car or my house or anything they should not be breaking into, he's going to bark, and I'm just going to be like, shut up in there, man. So it's kind of like I miss my dog. I miss the shit out of my dog. I'm in a thing. My family and this other neighbor of mine, some of you guys who've been listening for a while, you know it's a thing. We got this whole long history going on, and my dog has actually become part of this beef. And so part of the reason my brother took the dog was so that couldn't be used against me. Oh, I hate my neighbor so much. So all of those things happen. We've now lost 4 fantasy football games in a row after starting the season 6-2. We lost week 4, my fault. We lost week 5, also my fault. But the last 4 weeks, I mean, shit, what can I do? What can I do? Dude had Carolina's defense. I got goose egged by Buffalo and by James Jones. It didn't even matter that everyone else on my team went ape shit. Everybody else. I would have beat 9 other teams this week. But you know what? Nope. I went up against the kid who had the most points, and now I'm 6-6. Next week, I still have a chance. It's a real close league. Nobody's like real far above 7 or 6-6. So a lot of things can happen. I got my eyes on that tight end in San Francisco. I'm hoping he can give me one good week. I just need to win. I got so many points because I was just destroying people for the first 8 weeks. So if I can get 7 wins, I'll make the playoffs. I'll get in as the 6th seed, 5 or 6, and hopefully Gronk can come back. Hopefully other people can not play like shit and stop getting hurt, and then we can win back-to-back titles, guys. Back-to-back titles. And that's not just, ooh, you get a title. You get $1,000 in cash. You get the big trophy for a year with your name on it, and you get the little trophy forever. It's a good deal. So, words. Dun, 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 dun. We're almost caught up. Where was I? I feel, look, there's other things. I'm hopefully not leaving things out, but I hope you understand the trauma that comes with suffering the type of foosball losses that I have suffered over the last 4 weeks. Oh my God. I have been all over the map trying to get to this point, and I'm starting to not even remember how this whole thing started. And usually I'm real good at backtracking conversations, even if it's just me talking like kind of to myself. I'm pretty good at it. So let's just pretend that the point of this story was to catch you up on the last 2 weeks. That could easily have been the original point. Maybe it wasn't, but it is now. So thanks. All right. So this weekend, the other day, 2 days ago, Saturday, I was thinking about streaming. It was going to be an early morning stream. I've got this itch to do like a morning stream. I feel like I have more energy. I'm less tired. I'm more upbeat. And more importantly, I want to stream in the morning. So maybe Saturday or Sunday, but I only have one monitor, and it's really, really fucking hard to stream with one monitor. Especially, I was going to do petitions. I was going to do some petition quests, and I can't show the petitions, so even harder with one monitor. But that said, if you had a forum petition and it was flagged for me, let's say before 24 hours ago, it's been dealt with. So go, if you were waiting for a reply or a thing and you're not sure, go check your petition. It should be moved to resolved, and you should have words from is the word I was trying to make there. You should have words from yours truly in that thread. And don't look at the date. You get the date that the guide went ahead and assigned it to me. It's the same date as whatever post they make in your thread. So if Leontius or Landris or one of the other guides, post some log stuff, I don't see it before that point. Also, don't bump. I know I've said this a lot of times. Really don't bump your petition. It's not because it annoys me. It's not because whatever reason you might think it is. The honest to goodness truth is that I start from the back of the list. I just do a simple search. I pull all the ones that are flagged for me, and I go to the very last page. And anyone who uses the forums knows every time somebody posts in a thread, it goes to the front page, the front of the list. You only see your petitions in that form. I see everybody's. So you bumping isn't just like a friendly reminder. It's literally you putting yourself at the end of my queue. I had one guy who kept bumping like every few days, and he literally ended up waiting like 6 months for something that should have taken 2 to 3 weeks. So that's the thing. Don't bump your stuff. I'm going to scroll through this here chat room. I'm going to see what kind of questions people have. If you ask something a couple times and I missed it, put at Sirken P99 in the question. It highlights it on my screen. It gets my attention. And things. So here we have, oh god damn it. So that kind of this thing about Bracknar, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to say one thing. Like I said earlier, we don't make disciplinary action public. Not when it's against players, not when it's against staff. It's just not something we do. Um, and so yeah, I mean, if you have a complaint against a staff member and you lodge that complaint with Rogan or Nobog or anyone, just because we don't tell you what happened or what course of action we're taking, that doesn't mean we're not doing anything. It's literally the same thing. We've had anyone who's been around a while knows we've had multiple staff members come and go. Some quit on their own accord. Some are physically removed from staff and escorted out of the building. Um, but we don't really get into it. If the person wants to make public the reason they left, then fine, that's on them. If some staff members, not many, but once in a while you get a staff member who will leave staff and then, um, I'm going to use an old example. When Uthgard left staff, it wasn't the best of terms, I would say. There was some back and forth, and for a while it seemed like Uthgard had an axe to grind with the server. Now, this is coming from a player point of view. Me and Uthgard were never on staff at the same time. So I had no idea what was. I still to this day don't know what was going on behind the curtain. But from a player point of view, and as someone who read the forums, it wasn't great. It looked like he had an axe to grind with the server, and and I think what I'm getting at is when you do that, it's going to people are either going to agree with you or they're not going to agree with you. And sadly, there are thousands and thousands of people that play here on the server, and they don't care about petty little things between staff members. Unless it's something big and huge and there's proof to back it up, players don't care. They don't care about streams, they don't care about dramas, they don't care about forums or Reddits or in-game OOC. They don't care about any of that shit. They just want to play the game, play it with their friends, and have fun. There's a lot of people who use gaming as an escape from real life. Maybe you live with your family and you got a shitty family. Maybe you live with a significant other and you have a shitty significant other. Maybe you just work 18 hours a day and the only bit of enjoyment you get is the 2 hours that you log into EQ during the week. Maybe your life is just hard and shitty for various reasons, and when you play P99, you don't have to deal with people treating you the way they might treat you in real life because you're not being judged on anything other than, who you are as a person, your personality, and what you show to other people. And I think it's real shitty, and I think it's real selfish when someone makes it their personal mission to kind of try to hurt the server because they're mad at either me or they're mad at Rogan or they're mad at Nobog or whatever staff member. I think it's selfish and I think it's shitty because you're not going to hurt the person you're trying to hurt. You're going to hurt everybody else. You're going to hurt people that had never wronged you, or if they did, it was in a very small and not personal way. You're going to hurt the people that really like playing here without all the harassment and the drama. If you have axes to grind, there's ways to go about doing things. There's always a way to get something done. There's always a way to go about getting what you want. But there's many different avenues to the same outcome. Not to be a huge giant Game of Thrones nerd, but I mean, you look at a bunch of characters on that show, they're all, not all of them, but many of them want the same thing. They're fighting for the same thing that they want. And they're all going about it different ways. Some people marching dumbly with their armies, other people are shifty and squirrely behind the scenes. Some people have backing of many people. other people are like, people will back me when they see my cause is just. There's many ways to skin a cat, as a wise person said to me recently. And I just think the way I remember Uthgard going about it back then is not the right way. It's not the way I would have done it. It didn't get him what he wanted. It didn't hurt the people that he felt wronged him, and all it did was make some people feel shitty and make some people not want to play here. Since then, the population, or at least the active population, the online population, look, what our server maxes out at daily, that's doubled in the last 4 years. So, I mean, it is what it is. People play here because they want to play here. They don't care about dumb shit. If you think a staff member is doing something wrong, bring it to me. If you think I'm doing something wrong, bring it to Rogan or Nobog. If you think someone's doing something wrong, but you think I'm too corrupt, also bring it to Rogan and Nobog. And if you think Rogan's corrupt, bring it to Nobog, I guess. And if you think Nobog's corrupt, you should probably go hang yourself. Nobog's probably one of the most stand-up people I've ever crossed paths with. So yeah, I feel that's a good little story too. People can take what they want from that. So something else I am going to bring up is that last night in EC we had bum fights, and it was hosted by a couple people who, oh god damn it, I'm sorry because I'm going to be an asshole about this, but I might be having a bit of a problem remembering that both names of the people, Sorn, Sorn, and was it Afeni? I think it was Afeni and Sworn. They hosted bum fights last night. It was in EC. It was at 7:30 Eastern. And I tried really hard to be there, and I literally got there like as it was ending. I felt so shitty about that. I will say though, maybe not do it when the Broncos are playing the Patriots and the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. It makes it a little bit harder for someone like me to show up. I know a staff member did show up, and I know that he helped for a little while, but then he got wife aggro. And anyone who has a wife knows wife aggro is very serious. You can lose all your XP, and it's really hard to grind that faction. So it's better not to lose it when it's avoidable. I don't know who won, so if anyone does, you should feel free to throw words in about bum fights. I hear a red ear pie was for up for reward. Yeah, it was a prize. I do hope that they will do bum fights again, and I'm hoping to. I don't want to say be more involved, but just be more available. I think is a better term. I want to be more available so that if they need things like PvP tags turned on and off, reses, mana refresh, health refresh, stripping of buffs, maybe someone to peek someone's inventory if they think someone's cheating. I don't know. Whatever you can imagine having a staff member for, I would very much like to offer my services because more than any other kind of event, I do truly support player ran events. I think player ran events are great. I was a big fan of them on VZTZ, and I am a big fan of them right now. Nerds. So yeah, thank you to Sorn and Afeni. Afeni? That sounds wrong. Look, I'm sorry if I just butchered your name. Tequila Wu-Tang wants to know about the surname Wu-Tang. Here's the thing. The one you originally asked for, we can't do. If you didn't need the apostrophe and you could just do it yourself, odds are it would never get reported and a staff member would never take it away. But since it actually requires us to do a thing, we can't do a thing that is just blatantly against our own naming policy. I know it seems probably retarded, but that's just the way it is. If it was me, I would try it with the E and see what happens. I mean, I might give it to you, but I don't know. Sometimes my judgment isn't the greatest of things. If people want to know the story, you have it aired out in multiple spots. I feel like you're not talking to me. Where can I buy these jimmies that auto message Sirken when they get rustled? Oh, Saldio, I'm so glad you used that as incorrectly as humanly possible, because it shows me that you are not a red server nerd. Why? Oh, because my EverQuest crashed. Of course it did. Actually, hold on 1 minute. Let's not get all fucking big and crazy real quick. Let me just check a thing. Sorry, when I do things and wait for them to load, you get holding messages. Interesting. Okay, well, that's fine. That's not the... Oh, no, that's not how we get there. We go like this. Don't care. Cool. 98% inbox, guys. 98%. Pretty soon, no one will be able to message me any more words. Kenny, we don't support multi-questing. So, it really... Oh, man. I don't want to tell you how to game the system, but I'll just say we don't support multi-questing. So if you make a petition and you're like, this is a multi-quest, I turned in these things and this guy turned in these things and we need our items restored, we're going to say no. It's just server policy. And the rest is up to you and your creative thinking powers. Alaris, I know what you were saying about BDA, but I don't like to single guilds out. Some words about my boss. If there's no girls on Red, is that why they're always so salty? Alright, you know what? That's not fair. There are some females on Red, but I know a lot of them stay low profile because they don't want to deal with bullshit. And I know there's a few that just like the attention. But I right now wouldn't play on Red. I can't imagine. Like if I knew a girl who was like, I really want to play EverQuest, Mr. Sirken. Do you know any good PvP EverQuest servers and words? There's no way on earth I'd be like, you should play on Red 99. It's the best place ever for your self. I would never say that. Those words would never come out of my mouth in any shape or form of that. And I'm not saying like individual people on that server are bad. I'm not saying the server is bad. I come from a PvP server. I played Val and Zek my whole EQ Live life. From 09 through the end of Planes of Power. I tinkered a little bit with LDON. Shit. Whatever the expansion was with the Priest of Discord, who you can use for porting to places, I played there like 2 or 3 times. But I mean, it's always been PvP. So this is not coming from an EQ PvP sucks kind of thing. I think EQ PvP is great. I think the fact that it's not balanced, and I think the fact that it's not like anything else, and all those things, I think that's what makes it so great. I think that's what stands it apart from the rest of the things. But sadly, nerds are gonna nerd. They complain. But yeah, I just think as a whole, when you know how sometimes in chemistry or some sciencey class, you can have all these things and they're in their separate vials and it's fine. Nothing bad happens. But then you start mixing these vials of liquid into a bigger vial, and when they mix together they do shit and they explode, and fire and smoke and brimstone and things. Well, that's kind of how the red server is. One-on-one, I can talk to almost anybody from that community, and it is fine. And one-on-one, they can bump into a new player on the server, and most time it's going to go good and fine. But as soon as you start mixing them together, I don't know if it's ego thing or just instant like dick measuring or what happens, but it's like they engage just auto scumbag mode and they compete to see who can be the shittiest. I've seen this happen to players, new players, old players. I've seen it happen to streamers, people who either just start on Red, or sometimes people who don't even play on Red, just they're streaming Blue server. People from Red server think it's absolutely adorable to just show up and troll the shit out of these people's stream channels and say all kinds of horrible shit to them and warp on top of them and do dumb shit to them. And oh, that shit rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me real bad. You're not doing yourself any favors, Red. People see that shit, and it does not make them want to play there. And the people that do see that shit and say, oh man, that's the server for me. I can't wait to be a scumbag with all the other scumbags. Like, those are not the people you should want to be trying to recruit to your server. The server is going to be what you guys make of it. If you make it a shitty place full of shitty people, don't expect people to want to play there. Don't expect population to go up. Don't expect anything. Don't expect the staff to want to do things to help either. But if you guys actually take it upon yourselves to not be scumbags and maybe have some goddamn law of the land enforced by players, I think it would go a really long way. That's how we got things done on live. It was law of the land, player justice. We didn't have very many staff members, and we had tons of problems, and we had to figure out ways to work out those problems so that we can enjoy the game. You can't always wait for staff members to come hold your hand, and just because one isn't online doesn't mean it's okay to burn the place down. Eventually, a staff member may look into an issue just because maybe they've been playing Rust for 5 months and they got real behind on petitions, and so it's just not getting looked at. But it doesn't mean it won't. And then when everybody gets banned, or if you get banned because they have good evidence and they don't get banned because you didn't bother to fraps or screenshot or log anything, you're gonna run and cry favorites and whatever. So just, be smarter. Thank you, Veyron. Olaris Bracknar's petition queue is very backed up at the moment. I would just say be patient. Some of the things will probably... No, I'm not even going to say that. Just be patient. Like, our petitions, unless your petition gets moved to resolved, it's considered an open petition. And we're working on it. Sometimes it takes longer than it should. Sometimes it takes too long. But if it's not moved to resolve, that means it's open. Tupac Shakur, thank you for taking time out of your super busy life to watch this stream. Any chance at any point... Oh, Killux Godspeed wants to know, any chance you could at any point shift the windows of NTOV names to the weekend? I understand people have different schedules. It's not typical to tailor spawn times to specific people. It's just not fun missing every NTOV named each week because it's a Monday and I'm at my 9 to 5. It's honestly killing my interest in the game, as I mainly play to raid. Selfish request, I know, maybe, but I know other people share my sentiments. Killux Speed God, I do understand and feel your pain on the raid timers, the whatever. Here's the problem. It's never, ever, ever going to be possible for us to make everybody happy. You got people playing different time zones. You got people that work different shifts. You got people in different countries, and so it's just really not possible. If we were to bump something to say 8 p.m. On a weekday, the Europeans would lose their absolute mind. I mean, the Europeans have asked for things, if it was possible for anything to happen during Euro hours, and because the staff is all, except for Aussie, the staff is all in America. I think that's like our time. Like that's when it's best for us to do things. We can't stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning to run an event for Euros, and we all have to go to work in the morning. Weekends, we try to do things on weekends, but even then, people complain because some people work weekends. Some people have weird jobs, shifting hours. Some people, it's still not good enough. They can only play in the evening time after their kids go to sleep, or they have to put the kids to bed and deal with kids at night, so they don't want to make a lot of noise. Or some people do homework during the day and like to play at night, or vice versa. It's literally impossible to make everyone happy. And so what's, in our opinion, the most fairest thing to do is just not to touch it. We let players have complete control of when they kill mobs, and I don't know the word, but because of that, they also get to decide when the mobs will pop and when the window will be. So yeah, I mean, people can say, well, we do earthquakes and we do patches and the server comes down and blah. Yes, but again, we have Rogan, when he does work on the server, he does it within his schedule that he has the time to work on the server. He's not doing it to give you guys mobs. Earthquakes don't reset timers as far as I know. And so that can be done anytime. And for the most part, those are done anytime. And they are done for players to give them mobs. But everything else isn't. And so it's not ever, ever, ever. You're never going to see a staff member move the raid target windows into a different thing. Like, we're never going to manipulate that. It just is what it is. Dun, 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 dun. Well, Laris, I don't know if you know this, but you can always turn the bat phone off. Or you can choose not to answer it. These are all things. Dun, 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 dun. Catching up, I saw comments about Game of Thrones. You're ruining my life. I hope you know this. I'm sorry, Tequila Wu-Tang. Dun, 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 dun. I answered your question. You just weren't patient enough for me to get to it the first time. Ghostface says, hey man, like 2 podcasts ago, you said a new blue server isn't coming anytime soon. Is that still the case? Yes, that is absolutely still the case. I mean, when we were talking about another blue server, I believe we called it a recycled server maybe, and I think other players then ran with that and started calling it Green 99. Whatever you guys want to call it, whatever the hipster word on the street for it is. It was more just something we'd like to do. It's not something that has a date. It's not something set in stone. It's not any of those things. It's just something we would like to do. Right now, the project, or I should say the server that's being worked on, is the Discord server. It's going to run for set periods of time, and I believe the winner of it will get to take something or some things back to their home server, be it blue or red. I don't know if all the details have been ironed out on that, so I don't want to say, like, this is the way it's going to be because I said so. I don't want to do that and then be wrong. But I mean, that's word on the street. I don't know if it's a title. I don't know if it's an item of your choice, or if we give you like a guise, or if we let you have whatever you had. I don't know what it is, but I know there's a lot of people that freak out about that, and they should really go back and listen to the stream or the video about it, because you can hear us explain a lot of things. The cliff notes is that the server's not going to be around long enough for anyone to get real high level. You're not going to see. I really don't think you're going to see even level 40s. You're definitely not going to see like Vox or Nagy kills. And even then, that might be all you see. Like, at the most, you might see a Finny or a Nagy or a Vox. I can't imagine there would be enough people to do planes or gods. I just don't see level 46 being a thing on Discord. I see the highest people getting to about 40. So yeah, I mean, it's still the green server, the recycled server, the second blue server. It's still something I imagine that everyone thinks is a good idea and wants to do, but not till everything else is done. And by everything else, I mean blue server stuff. When blue server is completely done, nothing needs to be patched, nothing needs to be fixed, nothing needs to be made more classic that we have the capability of making more classic. When we hit that point, that's when we're probably going to seriously talk about a green server, in my opinion. Again, that's my opinion. This is not like something we've discussed in set in stone. It's just that's how I would do it, based on things I've heard on stream the night that we talked about the Discord server, and the night that the recycled server was discussed. That was the impression I got. So I really wouldn't hold my breath for it until Discord's been out and until Velius has been out for a good bit. And honestly, I would still like to see a Teams PvP server before another blue server. Another blue server, everyone thinks it's going to be different. It's going to be the exact same as this blue server. The neckbeards are going to neckbeard, and the casuals are still going to be casuals. And in a year, everyone's going to end up in the exact same place. So I don't know. I don't know why people think it's going to be such a big thing. Or a different thing, I guess. It's big because we're doing it and we do big things. That's why it's going to be big. But, dun, 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 dun. Any news on Discord? Fresh Auto? I think I just answered both of those questions. So, Auto P99, that's for you, buddy. Dun, 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 dun. Killux Godspeed, you are absolutely free to push your agenda. It is my job to thwart it out. Virulent, we have no info on this. I have no info on Discord. When we have news, we'll definitely post it. I know Rogan does not like sit around purposely keeping information from people. If he had information to post, he would post it. He likes to make people happy. He does like making people happy. I mean, if you're a piece of shit, yes, he's going to enjoy shitting all over you. But for all the not pieces of shit, he likes making people happy. He wants to bring you good news. Can we bad bards on Discord? I mean, I would. Ganworth, I would 100% would, but I don't think Nobog will support such a thing. Easy wants to know, were there still plans to add more content to the server after the end of Velius? Yes. I've been involved in very, very minor brainstorming with some custom content ideas that Rogan. I don't know if it was Rogan's idea, Nobog's idea, or both, but it was Rogan who shared it with me. So I'm just gonna say Rogan's ideas. Nobog, if you hear this and I'm wrong, you can chop my hands off. But yeah, so I'm not gonna say what they are, but definitely has been talked about. We have discussed some custom content. Rogan told me your mom joke the other day. I'm offended to the highest degree. You, sir, need thicker skin. Bards are friends, not food. Bards are like a double-edged sword. Like, as a player, as a staff member, bards are just a pain in the ass. That's all they are. When they do good things, I don't hear about it, and when they do bad things, I never hear the end of it. So bards are just a giant pain in my balls. But as a player, it's a double-edged sword. Like, yes, you hate when they're swarm kiting and stealing all the merbs and such, making Lake of Ill Omen horrible for everybody. But I mean, if you have a bard in your group, it, it's a wonderful thing. It makes getting around faster. It makes mana faster. It stacks with the Necro self mana thing. It's a wonderful thing to have a bard around. So I don't know. I give him a lot of shit, but I do understand. I understand the bard. Open wounds. He wants to know. Will Discord be policed like a normal server? I bet most people use some very shady tactics to stay alive or kill people that might be against the rules. Question mark. So here's the thing. Again, not set in stone, but we don't want to make rules that are not enforceable, that are going to have like permanent, irreversible, or very hard to reverse effects. So, for instance, if you look at something like training, we don't allow training on blue or red. It's against the rules. It's what shilly is a word, I believe. Maybe shilly. Like if you shill somebody, could I say you're shilly? I think I can. I think that's legit. But if you're all right, Cliff Notes. Basically, we're not going to try to enforce something we can't enforce or can only enforce half the time. On blue and red, trains happen and we're not always there to catch them, but you can fraps it, you can petition it, and we can deal with it after the fact. On a Discord server, if you get trained, you lose. I mean, when you die on Discord, you lose everything. There's no corpse for you to go back and loot. I mean, someone else can loot your things probably, but for the most part, your corpse is going to be gone. You're starting back over at level 1. Your bank is cleared. Like you're out of things, and so we can't really deal with training after the fact on a Discord server. It would cause too much harm, way more harm than good. So if there was a vote right now today, I would vote in favor of just having no CSR, and that way at least everybody's on the same playing field. Like yes, training is shitty, and it's shitty sullen Zekers that think that's PvP, but I can't justify saying no training, and then the only people who follow rules are good people that respect rules. People that don't respect the rules, they don't care what the rule is, they don't care what the punishment is, they're going to do it anyway. So it's kind of stupid for me to be like, no training allowed, and then you have good people worried about getting banned, not training. Meanwhile, they're trying to dodge trains from other people, and those people, might get away with it, might not, who knows. But if they do get away with it, it forces other people to sit around and be like, why am I wasting my time here? Like, clearly these people are allowed to train. I don't want to have to play like that, but if I play here, I have to start. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't justify CSR stuff on Discord right now unless we have some different tools, or if we pick and choose what kind of CSR support will be provided. I guess training is just one example. So yeah, open wounds. I hope that answers your question. Sheepherder wants to know, can there be X-rayed zones like a giant naked chick laying down with her legs spread and you zone into her bad word? No. No. That will never be a thing. I love when they sing that jam about mana. I like when people, you know what I want? I want people to sing little songs for me and send them to me in text messages. That is what I would like. I would like to have little songs on my phone that I can listen to when I sneak away from my desk to have a smoke. Because it makes the workday go by faster. Dun, 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 dun. Veyron. Well played. Well played. We'll go with Shilly. Um, Celdio, you were a little shit back in the day who trained Velk's guards to zone. I mean, maybe that makes you a little shit, but where are you supposed to bring mobs? I mean, I hate when people sit at a zone line and then complain about mobs being trained on them. It happens in Crushbone, it happens in Mistmoor, it happens in Carner's Castle, it happens in Velks. Guys, don't hang out the zone line because that is where mobs go. That's where mobs get ran to in times of danger and trouble, and there's usually more than one. I mean, this is not breaking news. This is something you guys should have learned like 15 years ago. Um, don't hang out at zone lines. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not fun. Nothing good's gonna happen from it. Bum, 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 bum. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Keister, Linked Dead Deaths. I think I already read that, but just in case. Linked Dead Deaths would indeed be brutal. They'd be real shitty, but you know what? Shit's classic. Bum, 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 bum. Is Discord server going to be hard mode? I think so, but cash money. It depends what your definition of hard mode actually is. Open wounds. You say one death and character is gone. I suggested that we make it when you die, your name is actually deleted too, so that you don't even have the option to use the same name when you reroll. Like it would force you to create a completely different character. And so that's kind of what I was hoping would be a thing. But alas, it's not. Also, I just realized when I said it, alas could be some like hipster southern phrase for a female, but that's not how we mean it. Dun, 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 what was I just gonna check? Oh, I know what I was gonna check. Dun, 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 dun. We're checking things. Yes, yes, we is. Dun, 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 dun. Things are muted. Dun, 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 dun. Boo. All right, so moving on. Is Invis and C Invis gonna be OP on Discord server? I think it's gonna be the same, Virulent. I think everything's gonna be the same. It's just gonna be more important. Obviously, when you're talking about people that are levels, 1 to 20, 20 to 30, Invis and C Invis are very, very important on PvP servers. I remember leveling up, and you'd be surprised how many people don't use C Invis or excuse me, or don't have an item that just gives them C Invis. And so you get away with all kinds of things that you shouldn't ever, ever, ever get away with. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they're OP, but I would say they're very important. Everyone should absolutely have a C Invis item. I mean, if you can't invis, you can't invis, but you need a C Invis item. Especially when one death means your character is toast. Okay, Sirken, enough foreplay. Log in your GM account. Let's do this surname thing. I'm waiting in NTOV at LTK. I was actually at that fight, Tequila Wu-Tang. I watched LTK die, and I checked out what the loots were before you guys saw what the loots were, because I was curious. Yeah, I was waiting for trains because I heard way too much. I didn't hear. I read way too many words when I came home. So that's the thing. Much Yawn wants to know female high elf, female wood elf. I thought that said wolf. Really legit thought that said wolf for a second. Or female half elf. Oh man. I don't like the short hair on the half elves, so they're out. And then beyond that, it really depends. Really depends what you're looking for. And a girl, I think wood elves you could probably have a little bit more fun with than the high elves. I feel like that's a thing. But I feel like, a high elf might be quicker to call you out on your bullshit. It really depends what kind of girl you need in your life. But I feel those are two very good choices. Just not half elves. I don't like short hair. Dun, 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 dun. Sheepherder wants to know why no random GM events, Sirken? Even if it's just you and a handful of guides controlling NPCs in some lobby zone. I'll tell you why, Sheepherder. We just don't have the time. Um, between Rogan and Nilbarg are busy as shit. They don't really do CSR stuff. They really don't do they don't deal with players a lot. And so people get the impression like, well, I never see Rogan and Nilbarg in my day to day. They must do nothing. And that's so far from the truth. They do lots of things that players don't see. Rogan does everything with the hardware and the server code. Nobog and his little team of devs do everything you see with the content. Every time a patch goes in, you see all those patch notes. I mean, you can see the different things that the different people are working on. There are things that need to be done that don't involve dealing with players. Part of the reason I'm on staff is to be a buffer between players and Rogan and Nobog. And also, I think part of the reason I'm on staff is to be a buffer between the rest of staff and Rogan and Nobog. If they are having their doors knocked on every single time someone has a question or wants an autograph, they're never going to get anything done. It's just never going to be a thing. I deal with so many things, and time sucks right now, and it's just real hard to find a block of time that all the guides will be around and have noticed that they'll be around and will be able to actually plan something and try to do an event. I know sometimes little, quick things are fun. We kind of want to get back into the scripted events. There's a lot of things we can do with those. And I think that with a little tweaking and a little, trial and error, we can put some really cool events together for you guys. I was kind of hoping we'd have something for Christmas. I don't remember what we did last Christmas. I'm sorry. I know the year before. Oh shit! It was either last Christmas or the year before we did Krampus. So every time I see this movie about Krampus, I giggle a little bit inside because it reminds me of our Christmas event, and more specifically, it reminds me a lot of Nilbog. What else? Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's the answer to your question, Sheepherder. Good question. Moving on. That's Sirken. Where are you at? IKI. I don't know what IKI means. I'm not even close to hipster enough to speak that. But right now I'm in. Oh, I don't want to tell you actually. But don't worry, I'm in. Celdio, how often you creep on people with GM and Viz? Creep on. I don't know. All right, if you mean like literally creep and stalk, I don't. But if you just mean like how often am I hidden or invisible, whatever, pretty much all the time, unless I have to appear to like talk to a player or deal with a camp dispute. I'm usually hidden and GM and Vizd. It's shitty, but I get a lot of tells, and some of them are great. Some of them are like, "Hey, thanks for what you do for the server," or "Hey, you need to stream more because I love your stream," or "Hey, Project 1999 is the best thing," or "Hey, you guys do classic EverQuest better than anyone else on the internet." And I love that shit, love it. But for every one of those, I probably get like 10 to 15 tells that are like, "Oh, you're a piece of shit," or "Oh, I've been waiting 7 minutes for my petition. What kind of garbage service is this?" Or oh, you clearly favor Guild X because Guild Y got better loot on this mob than when we killed it last week. Or, oh, Sirken runs a lemonade stand with this nerd. They've been friends since they were 10 years old. And and while it doesn't bother me, like I don't get mad about it, I don't react to it, but it's just I'm just tired of it. Like I'm sick of it, and so it's easier for me to just be invis. Sometimes I just turn my tells off, so if someone tries to send me one, it gets the Sirken is not online message. Um, yeah, I do a lot of snooping around. I like to see what people are doing. I like to see what the community's up to. I like to get a feel for the zone, and sometimes, pretty much all the time, if I show up in a place, people are on their very best behavior, and so it doesn't help me see what's actually going on. It doesn't help me see who's being shitty. It doesn't help me see if people are training. Sometimes if I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know everything just needs to stop, I'll show up uninvised because it will stop everything. But if I'm actually going to try to catch somebody doing something wrong, I need to be invised. So yeah, I hang out. You know where I do hang out the most? I'm usually in Viz, but I hang out in front of the Thurgoton Bank all the time. If I'm not in CS Home, you can bet good money that I am in Thurgoton. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, guys, sidebar. Totally forgot about this. I started playing Rust again. I started playing Rust again on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. And I built a little base. It's a little 1x4. It's got 2 furnaces and like 6 boxes, and I was so happy. And then I found this other base, and I could peek through a crack in this nerd's wooden wall, and he had a sign that said door code 7316. And so I tried it, and the door opened right up, and I couldn't believe it. And I went inside and I murdered him. And then I changed his door codes, and then I put up walls and airlocks and made his base actually secure, and I kind of claimed it for myself. And then I found a little base that looked like a little house, and it was a little 2x1, and I took it. And then I saw a base that got raided and was abandoned, so I just fixed it up. There's some locks and doors on there, and I took it. And then there was a base that I was worried these people were going to raid me, but then I got a closer look last night, and their doors got blown out, like all of them. So I just threw 2 doors on the outside doors. The inside's all fucking open right now, but I got the outside doors locked up with code locks. So took that base too, and then some nerds built on the other side of this rock from me, and I didn't like it, but they're dumb and they didn't use tool cupboards, which is how you restrict building permission. So I threw a barbed wire metal barricade right in front of their door, because I was walking up to their door to see who lived there, and they opened it, and 2 guys mowed me down with Tommy guns, and I didn't like that. So now, fuck them. They have a barbed wire metal barricade in front of their door, and they're going to learn about building permissions the hard way. Unfortunately. Oh shit, I'm skipping things. Okay, alright. Time out. Anglin. I'm going to call you Anglin because Anglin sounds like it should be a different. Look, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna call you Anglin. If you were to stream P99, do plat giveaways and got donations, would that count as RMT? You can't do plat giveaways in exchange for donations. You can't be like, if you donate to my stream, you'll get some plat, or you'll get some. You can win some plat. Like you can't give P99 things away for not P99 things. What you can do is just say donations is really hard. Actually, it's really hard. For something like, look, all I'm gonna say is what the rules say. Anything that is P99 related for something that's not P99 related counts as RMT. if you think it's a special circumstance or you think whatever, you have a really good reason, put in the petition form. Run it by one of the GMs or one of the guys. Run it by a staff member. Get their opinion on it. There have been times where people were like, "Hey, all right." One example is some people wanted to do a fantasy football thing where they pay like a 10K buy-in and then the winner gets X amount, let's say 60%, and then second place gets 30% and third place gets 10%. They came to us and we needed a link to the homepage for the fantasy football league. We needed to know who was in the league. We need to know who would be collecting and holding the money. And when the league ends and it's time for payouts, we're going to need to know who's getting paid out. So, I mean, there are special circumstances where we can clearly see it's not RMT. And so we don't want to just be dicks and try to limit people's fun. But at the same time, people got to understand where we're coming from with this thing. So if you think you have a special situation or a special circumstance, petition form it. Worst case scenario, we say no, and you're in the same boat you would have been in had you not asked. So you literally have nothing to lose, but you have things to gain. So yes, I hope that was your thing. Just let me get a screenshot so I can troll nerds. Would drive them crazy for RNF. I go to CS Home a lot. I don't know if I want to supply ammunition to the RNF fund. RNF fund usually means more work for me. Dun, 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 dun. Rogan does play the CSGO. He also plays the H1Z1. Someone said something about streaming Rust. Oh, it was Veyron. I can't stream Rust. I can't. There used to be a couple people that streamed on my server. I'll just tell you guys, I play on Facepunch Seattle. And there were a couple people that streamed. B Chills used to play there. Rhino Crunch used to play there. And they stream. They're decent sized streamers. They both got run off the server. I actually loved fighting with B Chills. B Chills was the best goddamn shooter I ever went up against. And he's the only person, like, when I realized that's who was shooting, like, you don't always see who you're shooting. It's just a guy down the way shooting at you. You're shooting back. You're doing the best you can. And then after you kill him or he kills you, you see the name. But I hated fighting B Chills. I hated it. Him and his fucking boy. What was his buddy? Andrew Trolls, I think. I hated them. They were so good. And I mean, not like legit good. Like, they didn't cheat. They didn't use other programs for like auto aim or ESP or any of that shit. They were just legit good. But we would stream snipe them anyway. We'd find out where their base was, wait for them to log off, and we'd raid them. And so you can't stream Rust. Virulent, you don't get GMC and Viz. Oh, you know how you get GMC and Viz? You join the staff. However, you can only see staff members that are equal or lower access than yourself. So even as a guide, you would not be able to see me. You'd have to be a GM to see me. Basically, Rogan and Nobog are the only people that can see me when I'm hidden. Hello, Nix. I'm glad you're here this evening. Speaking of things that are things, yes, you are my only mod here at the moment, so I'm glad you're here. Nix, if I have you on stream next week, I flat out demand details on this here birdhouse. Birdhouses. We're not going to go into a thing about birdhouses. Olaris, you don't understand. You don't understand how hard it is to get a sword in my channel. Basically, someone has to harass the absolute shit out of you to the point where I feel like I can't do a good enough job moderating it, and so I'll give you the power to protect yourself. Or you have to be Uber Bandit and live close enough to where if you do anything shitty to me, I can literally drive 45 minutes to your house and punch you in the face. Not that I would though, because I'm lazy, I'm 300 pounds, I'm probably too busy microwaving a Hot Pocket to actually do anything about anything. Easy, could you draw pictures of people's characters for Platt? I'm assuming you don't mean like shitty pictures? I don't know. I if you're being serious, throw a thing in the petition form, you know, spell it out real good, give details, and let us know that you're serious. Because like I said, serious exemptions that where we do allow things like the fantasy football league. We might make you verify like we did with them, but you know, we're definitely willing to work with people. Tequila, I could just mute you. This is the worst night to try and harass somebody. I'm all over chat. I'm like a fat kid on a Hot Pocket. Jokes. Oh, stay in Cobalt Scar, she says. Oh no. Oh man, you guys are gonna see my desktop in a second. Or actually, by the time you hear this, you will have already seen it. I'm gonna watch it on stream. Let me make sure I don't have anything. No, it's good. A plus. What else? What else? I need one of these. I don't need one of those. Oh, you know what I did want to do? One more thing. Oh my god, I'm doing it like an asshole. I apologize in advance for all of the things that I do like an asshole. That is not my intention most of the time. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I wish I could help with that. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. If you guys have questions, fire them off right now. I'm gonna give a little bit for people to let the brain things twist and turn and do their thing and generate thoughts and bubbles and ideas and shit. And if not, we might be done. And if so, then I'll take some minutes and I'll answer your questions, concerns, complaints, whatever you may have. I'll also say, since I'm trying to kill some time, if you haven't hit the follow button, you should hit the follow button because it will remind you when we're doing this. And you'll catch other things like Petition Quest, which is visual proof that I actually do things for the server, and it's good. If you miss things like Nick's and you were late because you were building a birdhouse, youtube.com/SirkenP99. It's got all of the things that you may have missed this evening or that you may have missed in the past. It has all of them. Everything I've streamed is there, and plus some stuff I made just for YouTube, it's there too. Some things, it's the other way. Some things are just on stream, they're just on Twitch. So, follow both, you won't miss anything. Ghostface ZX, thank you, sir, for hitting the follow button. I will not make you regret your decision. I'm big on people not regretting decisions when they have things to do with me. So, much appreciated, sir. I'm going to try to stream more. I know I say that all the time, but if you were here at the beginning, you understand what happened. My life became a country music song, and there was just nothing anyone could do about it. Nix, I did go on a small little thing about the Discord server. I'm not going to get into it again, but the summary is basically when we have news, we'll post it. I rehashed some of the things we already talked about on the big Discord announcement stream. So I'd say go back and watch that, or go back and watch this and wait for me to talk about it here. Dun dun dun, Nix, you crashed in CS. I'm sorry. I love Cobalt Scar because of that dragon who dropped the bio orb. And I know blind lands like fucking half of 1% of the time in PvP. But it was just so great when it did land in PvP. Because that's not my fucking pin. Because blinding people sucks. And if you can blind someone in PvP, you should. Tequila Wu-Tang, I'm vaguely insulted that it took you this long to follow me, sir. I feel like me and you have been sitting here, we've been chit-chatting, shooting the breeze, doing our thing, having a great time together. And this whole time, I thought you were a loyal follower of mine. And you know what? You weren't. I feel like I put out before I earned your respect, and I don't like it. I don't like it. You made me feel like a whore tonight, Tequila. That is not a good first impression. It's not a good first date, and I strongly suggest you plan on making it up to me. Sheepherder says, I'd follow but no phone, so following just creates spam email. However, I try to be here on Monday night. Sheepherder, that is not a valid excuse because you can go into your Twitch settings and you can turn that off so it won't send emails at all when people you follow go live. Or you can set it so, like, let's say you follow 100 people, but you only really care about like 4 or 5 of them. You can set it so you only get emails for those 4 or 5 people. There's a lot of things you can do with your Twitch settings. You should check it out. I will not accept your laziness as an excuse not to be a follower. SC2 Exposure says, I started late before the first big wipe of VZTZ. Oh, you're an old school pal. Cheers, sir. I remember it not nearly being as bad getting going on there as it has then just get. Sir, what kind of English is this? I'm trying to read your words in a voice, and I'm questioning if I'm even reading the right things out of my mouth. We're going to start over. I started late before the first big wipe of VZTZ. And timeout. I'm just going to say, if you have stupid words in there, I'm going to read it the way you wrote it. So if it sounds stupid, that's on you. I remember it not nearly being as bad getting going on there as it has then just getting going on Red 99. I have my thoughts on why it is more difficult. I'm curious as to what your thoughts on new people on Red having such a hard time getting going. If English isn't your first language and I just made fun of you, I'm an asshole and I'm sorry. I'm just assuming you're just as English Americanized as me, and that's where my words are coming from. But I don't speak another language, so if you do, and I just shit on your English, I'm sorry. Your English is much better than my any other language. Boom. Nick says, how can a player who wants to watch your stream find it after it's over? I literally just plugged my YouTube, so I can't do it again. Tequila, one of my newest followers, wants to know Mary Fuck Kill, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Trump, and Al Gore. Oh man. That's tough. I would kill Trump because I can't deal with that. And I feel like I'd marry Al Gore because Al Gore will never leave me. Al Gore would treat me like global warming and will just be on my shit, raising awareness forever. And Stevie Ray Vaughan, that's probably just gonna be, a fun Friday night. But I really feel like the parents would be more impressed if I brought Al Gore home, like big picture wise. So yeah, done. Is the mob Lonzon a raid target? If yes, why do people camp right on her spawn? As far as I know, Ladazul is considered the same as like King Tranix, I guess would be the best example. I mean, I think I gotta look into that. I'll don't hold me on that. I will talk to Rogan and Nobog and some other staff and get a consensus for Ladazul because I know there's a lot of confusion on there. And at this point, I have I have doubts about what has been said in the past because I've heard so many different things. But I would like to see it. I would like to see it similar to Ragefire. I know nobody wants to see players on the Lotazol camp spot or spawn spot, but I don't know. I think the way you guys do Lotazol on the server is retarded as hell. I think it's absolutely retarded, and I think this is why we can't have nice things. Sirken P99 Eyes in the Dark says, if I keep streaming P99 to my 1-year anniversary, which is not very long way, can I be a TeamSpeak guest? You sure can, but you should know I don't use TeamSpeak for anything other than Rust, and I don't think we're going to play Rust together, so it's probably going to be lonely in that TeamSpeak. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. That just means we're never going to talk in TeamSpeak. Oh, Nix, you can't marry Trump. That hair would creep me out. Tequila. Good things come to those who wait. Twitch doesn't unfollow people. People unfollow people. If you clock on the heart under the stream, if you clock, A+. Total English speaker, just bad writing. Thanks for answering, though. No problem. I just like to break balls sometimes. Keister, that is not the RMT tunnel. That's the RBS tunnel. Get it right, sir. Nice fade run. I bet California is real fucking nice right now. It is cold. Oh my god, guys. It was raining. It was like biblical rainstorm today. I was driving down, what was it, Tui to Lee to Higgins? I was trying to get to Higgins, right by the airport. And just rain. So much rain. I legit would not have been surprised to see 700-year-old Noah in his wooden raft with 2 of all the animals just going on by like, good luck. But yeah, no one tried to assassinate me. I didn't see Noah. It was just rain. Lots of rain. But I made it home. That's all that matters. Sir, be a pound. Bring me some water and bread to Quad Rock and Cobalt Scar. Love you. No. I was already in Cobalt Scar. And, were there locusts? No. There weren't locusts. I don't think it was a plague, per se. I just think that, I just think it was, like, I don't think it was like the end of the world or anything crazy like that. I just think that, there was a bad fucking rainstorm. So, yep, that's it. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hit the follow button so you don't miss other things. Check out youtube.com/SirkenP99. Tell your friends, tell your guild, tell your coworkers, tell strangers on the street. Thank you guys very much for watching. I loved all of your questions, and I hope we can do this again sometime. Goodbye. Oh, real quick. You should stay tuned. I have something after the outro. So it's a little secret thing for you that stick around.